Fighting against dictatorship can often feel extremely lonely. Having the capacity to build new alliances, showing solidarity to one another even if we come from different backgrounds, this will be the exact reason why dictatorships will fall. The Freedom Fellowship is a unique program that gives activists that are fighting for democracy or human rights special mentorship on 8 different areas, teaching strong leadership while at the same time decentralizing it and allowing other leaders to emerge within their movements.
Nonviolent action in movement building is identifying the sources of oppression in society and figuring out how to mobilize people effectively against it.
Nonviolent movements are the best tool we have to actually turn down a dictatorship but build in democracy.
Once a movement achieves the end of an oppressive system, it needs to also prepare for a democratic transition.
What are the role of civil society leaders and movements during a transition towards democracy once the dictator has left the head of state? Narrative is what takes you from an idea to a sustained identity and a concrete vision of tomorrow that transcends the existence of a dictatorship in your country.
To be able to craft our narrative and make it accessible for more people, that's the deciding factor in whether or not truth overcomes the narrative of propaganda by authoritarian regimes.
Visibility for human rights causes can mean the difference between a dictatorship continuing to repress or holding back.
It's really important that these activists can tell the story in their way, on their terms, teaching them how to interview correctly with press to make sure that their story can get elevated and can resonate across the world.
One of the things the Freedom Fellows focus on is digital security. Communication security, so things like VPNs, staying safe on the internet, making sure the government can't see what they're doing. The other component is financial security. These folks are often in a situation where they don't have a bank account or their bank account got frozen or it's being surveilled. We teach them how to use Bitcoin and we teach them how to use Bitcoin as safely as possible.
Before this, we never got that kind of idea of how to use this kind of technology in our movement. Thanks to HRF and the Freedom Fellows, we were able to learn about this.
Discussing finances is a very difficult conversation among activists. A lot of us don't have a great understanding on how to go about that.
It takes a different set of skills to fundraise when you are being persecuted by a dictatorship.
We help with how to get in front of somebody, how to ask for money, who to ask for money, what to ask for money for.
So that activists can have a sustainable source of resources while they continue doing their work.
Mental health taps into the resources that they have inside to be able to deal with what happens outside.
We have very specific trainings, not only in understanding the nervous system and how to regulate it, but what trauma is and how it affects the individual and communities. And we also have a mental health expert that is working with the fellows.
To keep going and not break and not collapse and not burn out.
We are doing what I think is the future of human rights work, supporting the people that will actually halt the trend of authoritarianism around the world by defeating dictators and bringing democratic processes to their countries.
What's different here is that it's really an ongoing interaction, a really powerful network. It's the sharing of wisdom and insight.
I invite you to be part of the global movement for democracy by supporting the Freedom Fellowship.